Welcome back to Two of a Kind. Today we are joined by obviously Michelle, wonderful co-host.
The best co-host.
And then we have two fun guys on our ends here. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Steven.
Oh my God.
I'm John.
We're going to call this like the boyfriend tag or something like that.
Yeah.
Even though John's my fiancé.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
We can't put that in. I'm so used to being just me and you that I'm so much more comfortable. And now that I have them next to me, I'm like, this is awkward. Even though John's always home listening. It's weird that you're here now.
Party in it. I'm always the third party.
Yeah, exactly. But welcome.
Silent producer.
Do you produce?
Where's my silent cred there?
You don't do anything.
I give some tips.
I like ask questions. Sorry, go.
It's okay. I don't think you need to give me the mic.
I don't know.
I think you can hear me from here. I think we're good.
But like, I don't know how much. Like, I'll ask a question if I can't do something. Like, or you'll like give your input, and John's like, I don't know. And I was like, all right.
No. You got to give me a little bit more than that. I
think you're a step above me?
I give a valiant. First of all, I just have no idea how to work any of this, but I do fix some things. But like when you ask me to do something that's out of my norm, how am I supposed to fix it? I'm not like the guru in any of this stuff.
I put you on the same level as Michelle.
I'm okay with that.
I apparently don't do anything, but I figured out one thing today before we started, and now like I'm off the hook for a little bit. I felt like you wanted to throw me under the bus.
100%. Like literally, you don't even try.
No, but when someone's gonna do something for me, like I don't have to like rush to do it. Like if somebody knows the answer, you know, work smart, not hard.
You're a passenger princess to life.
Yeah.
But like, you'll be like mid-project. We have no idea what's going on. And you'll be like, you'll be like, do you know how to fix this like specific part of the project? It's like, I have not been included in this whole thing. Like, how am I going to fix it?
No, but you're like techie. So sometimes like, even if you're not around and I have a question, I just like throw it to you to see, you know?
No, I feel that. He is very techie.
Yeah. So, you know, you just might know things and like, you're good with all that stuff.
But usually, no.
Yeah. It's hard because you're not there a lot of the times when I ask the questions.
We have some drinks in front of us because like we figured you guys need to like maybe loosey-goosey up. But yeah, maybe we'll like ask you some like, you know, like you're being interviewed and ask you with some easy questions before they get into tough ones. That's what we're going to do today.
And we bring you up a lot in different like videos and stuff. So we figured we'll introduce you, we'll ask you some questions and, you know,
take it from there.
Exactly.
So then when you make fun of us, everyone knows who we are.
Yeah.
At least, okay.
No, and now they have a face to the name.
It's all about context. Yeah. They need the context.
Yeah. So first questions first. How did you meet? We'll start with John, okay? How did you meet Olivia?
Well, to make a long story short, at my place of work, I was very good friends with a girl who we became very close. She was engaged. She kept trying to set me up with a lot of her friends. I kept saying no. And then a few years went by, she'd given up and she came back and said, hey, I have the perfect girl for you. And would you be willing to meet her? I said, what's she like? What's she about? What does she do? How old is she? What's her family like?
It's a long story short.
Asked a million questions. Needless to say, I was finally ready. I said yes. I went on a blind date with her and that's all she wrote.
Honestly, blind dates are scary. Like to go out with somebody not knowing anything, especially because I know it from her side. It's like, who am I meeting, you know?
100%. And that I was never the type of person to go on a blind date or anything like that. I was like I always thought I would like reach from a bookshelf and like meet the person or like at a coffee shop, something like romantic like that you see in the movies. So I was so against being set up, but everything's like about the right time and place. I was finally ready and
you have to trust the middleman. Like that middle person has to know you well, has to know the other person well to know that you guys are compatible or that you'll have like a nice time.
Exactly.
So, well, she did good in the end.
She did great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like he thinks like serendipity, you know, and you're just like, he was saying like you're in the bookshelf and you just like meet someone, you know? So like I feel like the blind date, it's like crazy for you, but like I feel like that's what you always envisioned for yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, how did you meet me?
Do I start like what the first time we met or like the first time like we actually started seeing each other?
We need the backstory.
The backstory?
Yeah, we need the backstory.
So like I can't make this story that short. But basically like The first time we met, I think, was at Pink Taco, which was a club. I saw both of you
Pink
there.
Taco was like the place to be.
Yeah, it was crammed. It was super like small, and I saw you guys, and I knew you because of Dawson, because like I was friends with Natalia, which was I think your friend, and then like I saw you, and like the first time I saw you, like I told my friends, I'm like, if I ever got a girl like that, I would marry her. Like that's exactly what I said. It's like
That's
kind
so
of
cute.
yeah, it's kind of funny looking back now.
So funny because you're still my boyfriend.
Okay, fair.
Carry
Fair.
on.
Yeah. So then like, I think I approached you guys. I like introduced myself, and you guys were like super cold. So I was like, okay, like that's not happening. And then the second time I saw you was clubbing again, like after I think at like Frit Alors, which is like a French fry place, and you were like super drunk. Like
I was gonna say, like, if you're meeting someone there, they're fucking wasted.
oh, she was wasted, like falling over,
We always
and
say,
I was like,
that's the first time he met me, but it's not the first time I met him. You know?
yeah,
We'll ask you your story another time.
yeah, exactly. And then I think after that it was at your birthday.
Yeah.
So basically like I think my buddy Mike basically invited me because he was dating at the time one of your good friends
Yeah. So we basically met at a club for the third time.
for the third time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's third for me, second for you.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is you can find love in the club.
Apparently. We're not married yet though.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, so then like I remember saying like, oh, like no, like I thought I knew who you were, and I was like, oh, that's not my type of girl, like she's very cold. So I was like, no, I don't want to go. And he's like, please, I don't want to go alone. So I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So then I came, and then like yeah.
Yeah. That's like, it's the bitch face effect. When you just look
100%.
unapproachable and just not nice, but then you meet someone, then we hit it off. Then it was good.
Like right away,
Yeah.
I gotta give you kudos for that though, because for me, I would never really be I'm not the type of guy that would ever pick someone up at a club or in that type of environment. I like guarantee if I saw you in a club, I for sure would look your way and like try to lock eyes, see if like, oh, is she looking at me? But I would have never gone over to you. So it's not my style. So the fact that you like that you did that.
That's the
That's
thing. So when
valiant.
it's like he thinks I'm ignoring him, it's just like I'm at the club. Like I'm not here to meet people, even though I know people do. So it's like you're being like, you just want to have a good time. You're not thinking of meeting.
I get it. That's why I tried to make it less weird. I'm like, we know someone in common,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you
I
brought
get
in a
it.
third
It's still a
party.
stranger.
But
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Steve. So your buddy was like, "Hey, I'm going to this birthday party. Would you come with me?" And Michelle's there. In the past that you were kind of into her.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, but she's not it." But like you ended up going. So were you going to like because there's a chance in the back of your head that maybe you would hit it off? Or are you going just to support your wingman?
Well, at the time I was going out a lot. I thought like I knew he was gonna be with his girlfriend, so I'm like, okay, when he's with her, like, what am I gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah.
And like my impression of Michelle was like, okay, like I'm barely gonna talk to this person, so like what am I gonna do there? It didn't go for, my thought wasn't like further like than that. It was just, what am I gonna do? And then when I got there, like it was like completely the opposite. Like you were like, woo, and like
So moral of the story, kids, don't judge a book. Don't judge a book.
So what was I'm going to go back to John because then you met Olivia on this blind date. And what was your first impression?
So that's a good story. So I remember we were in Sea Salt and Cerveci, which was the first part of our long first date. And I was very nervous. I've never been nervous on dates. I'm very easygoing, easy to talk to people. But one, like she's stunning, and two, she was just like very. I don't know what I was expecting because it was a blind date. But I found myself very like emotionally attracted to her right away. Like there was no effort being put on her part to try to impress me. Everything was very authentic. She was just like so interested in like what we were doing and the food that we were gonna have, which like was a little novel to me.
The food.
No, the food
It
was
all
big to me
comes
because
back to
I
the
come from a
food.
family that's like big, like very not big eaters, but very like loves food and loves like quality and like loves everything. And so many of the girls I dated were like salad and chicken. It was like so boring. I couldn't share anything with her. So when our yes, so one of my first, I took her to like an oyster bar to kind of as a test. And so I remember like we get there and I'm chewing a piece of gum because I guess like I didn't want my breath to stink, like that's normal. But like I forgot to spit it out and I realized how rude it was to be chewing gum on a date. So like as I don't know, I kind of just like very sneakily like spat it into my hand, expecting myself to like put it in a napkin. But then I got nervous and didn't have a napkin, so I'm like holding it in my hand like this. And I guess I was tense because like I just remember forgetting about it. At one point, like trying to open my hand and like feeling the gum and not knowing if I should like tell her or not. So obviously I excuse myself, I go to the bathroom, I come back, I clean my hand off, I come back, and then I just told you. I was like, I just told you right away what had happened. And she laughed and it was cute and it was, I don't know, it was an authentic moment.
Yeah, I would have to say like same. Oh, guys.
Too many mics.
Too many mics. Yeah, first impression, like likewise, like we had such a good date and like he was going, I think
Where did you guys go on your first date?
oh my god, it was the longest fucking date, but like really good. It was sea salt and ceviche, to PY1 nights, to we
What
went
was
on
that?
It's like when some
It
artist
was a light show.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. It came in the summer and whatever.
yeah, like you lie
Okay.
down and there was a night show and then we went on the Ferris wheel and then we went to the Bremner, had food, and then I went home.
Okay, it was 4 nights and 1 night.
It was 7 hours long.
Yeah.
But like we were having a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time.
So like first impression, like great.
Late night.
Late night on a Tuesday too. I was like, on a school night?
Yeah. Crazy. So your first impression was good?
Great.
Okay, yours? Well, what was our first date?
Our first date was Moose Bar,
Yeah.
just like a low key bar near Concordia.
That was, like,
University.
A crazy spot too at one point. The free popcorn though, like really gets you.
And honestly, like almost ghetto because after like the night we were going back to his car and there's somebody trying to pick his lock to steal the car.
No way.
Do you remember
Really?
somebody was trying to get into your car? Yes.
No, that wasn't that night.
What
You
night
weren't
was
even there
that?
when that happened.
No, I was there. I was
She
there.
took like someone else your memory.
No, this is a different story. No, no.
different date?
Yeah, different. No, you weren't there.
I was there. I saw this happen.
No, I was on the phone with you.
No, I was
Yeah, I was on the phone with you, and it was like in the middle of the day, and like I'm.
This
You're
is
on
not the
speaker
day.
in the car.
No.
It only happened once. Okay.
No,
Anyways,
this happened after, and
we'll
then
just
I was,
agree
like,
to
staring at
disagree.
your car.
Maybe it happened more than once.
okay, my
No,
poor
I
car, which is like apparently everyone's
Or
trying to
your
steal.
hot dog or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was just saying today how like
Okay,
good,
but
how
first
lucky he is.
impressions. Let's circle
My
back.
first impression was good. Enough to go on a second date. You didn't care about my opinion?
No.
No one asked you. Okay, like slow your roll. No, but like I was surprised at how cool you were, like how like down to earth. Because it was like the complete opposite of what I expected.
Facts.
I'm somehow like when you're giving her a compliment about being chill, I'm like, I am chill. Because we're same.
Yeah. So I have other questions. So how long after your first date did you make it official? And do you think about a timeline? You're like, okay, I have to date this person for like 3 months before I ask them to be my girlfriend. Like, what's the process?
John, you go first.
I'd say I'm like normally very cerebral with things like that and like planning things out. But I'd like been single for a very long time before her. I'd been in a lot of like long relationships, which is why I was single, because I like took time off.
Time off from the job.
Time off
Took
to
a sabbatical,
time off
traveled
to
a little
focus on
bit.
the job and away from being in serious relationships. So I think I think I knew really quickly that I wanted things to be serious with you. And like I'd never moved in with a girl before. I'd never lived with anyone. I'd never like gone through really like any of those steps. So I think like very quickly I was like ready to take a bunch of steps, but I was also a lot older than like I'm 4 years older than them. So like I was in a different place where I was ready for that next step, but I also knew that she probably wasn't. So I think like first of all, we took things very slow at the beginning because like I knew that I liked her a lot. It wasn't about, you know, sex or anything like that. It was really just like I wanted to get close to you. So I think like even like anything physical we like were slow with, and emotionally I think like we after like a month of like full like actually seeing each other, I think we like actually that's pretty quick going.
That's
boyfriend,
so a month
girlfriend.
is so quick. Wait till you hear Steve's side.
And I was like, I really think it was
It
like, a
felt
month.
very slow to me, but
Because
maybe
it was the
wasn't.
summer too, so it's like you're seeing each other way more often.
Yeah.
It's like not like once or twice a week. It's like constant.
It's also important to know our first date happened, and then we didn't see each other for 3 weeks because we were both away. So like a month isn't a month; it's really 2 months because our
Yeah.
second date was like a month after our first date,
Yeah.
and then it was a month after that. And we saw each other like every weekend, multiple times a week. So we were like, in 1 month, we probably saw each other more times than like new couples see each other in 6 months.
Yeah.
But then I remember at one point after I asked you to be my girlfriend, like at one point when I was ready, I was like, I know like we're not there yet, but whenever you were like ready to move in, you just like let me know. And I left that on you. I didn't like ask you to move in now, but I said like, let's talk about it when you're ready.
Yeah. And then I did when I was ready.
When you were ready.
Yeah. That's pretty quick.
How long after was that? I don't even remember.
Oh my God, like a year after.
A year.
Which is quick.
To move in together?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the age.
But you guys
Yeah,
were
we
seeing each other
20
often.
How old were you guys when you?
25.
Yeah, 25, and then you
Not
moved
when you
in.
moved in.
No, when you met.
No,
You
it
were
was
24 when we met. You were 26 when you moved in.
Okay, probably it was a year, but time-wise and the
Yeah,
months.
like maybe
Yeah,
a year and a half.
26 is still-
Everything's a blur.
That's fast.
I love how it became your mic holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wonder if I
It's
put it
great.
here. I think Sam will be
I
great.
don't
so.
think we need to be passing it back and forth. I think this sounds fine.
No, it sounds way better when it's
Okay,
close.
done.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
You
like
know, Steve's
get
the sound guy.
get
I'll
that
take it from the
radio
pro
voice.
here.
Us, it took a bit longer than a month.
Yeah, but I had just come out of a relationship, so I was like, I wasn't super down, but it's like the opportunity came up, and like typically, like I'm not someone who like messes around, but I didn't want to like get into something right away. It was actually you who brought it up, who was just like, oh, like I don't want to continue if it's not serious, and I was like, whoa, like
Because we were chilling we're like hanging out for like 4 months.
no, I feel like it was like 4 or 5 dates in, where I was like a little surprised, but like in a good way.
She's an
I
assertive
don't
woman.
remember.
Yeah, like she didn't say, you didn't
also,
say like, oh,
like-
we need to make it official now, but you were just
No.
like, if you're just like trying to mess around, like I'm not down.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to date someone at that point who was dating other people.
Oh, you want to make it exclusive? I don't even think I
Yeah.
understood that at that
Yeah.
point, but it's okay.
Yeah. No, that's what I meant. Like,
Okay, got that now.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's an important thing. I think like people like in new relationships, anyone out there that's listening, very important that like you might say something, but how they interpret it matters.
Yeah, I probably should have been more precise, but like after a couple dates, it's like, okay, you should
Should
just.
I grab the pot?
Yeah, literally, is it just gonna be me and you, or are we like constantly being with other people?
Not fair to make like a single blanket statement. Like first of all, when we started, I was 28, you were 24. Then like as we were getting serious, like you're 26, I'm 29, 30. Like you guys were what, 22?
when we met?
Like it's different, and like in those periods of life, it's very different stages. Like you accelerate quite quickly at different. Like
Yeah.
22 is like. You're still like it's like you're still 18. You're figuring yourself out. You have your first job maybe or your second.
For sure.
Like,
Now, in hindsight, yeah, but at the time when I'm 22, I'm like, oh my god, I'm 22. Like you feel older.
yes, you feel older.
Exactly.
But you're
So
not.
you're not older, and then also like, it was like multiple dates in. Like I don't know how many. You said 5, but like who knows? That I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? You know. So yeah, just like time wise.
I'm like, what are the bad questions? Like that's what's going through my head right now.
No, we're like easing you guys in.
Yeah.
We got some like here, and like Michelle's hosting us down this
Yeah.
road.
So now that I'm going like through the relationship, so you met, you're hanging out, now you're dating or whatever. When did you say I love you first? And who said it first?
Is it me or him first?
Go, Steve. We'll switch it up.
I feel like start with John. I pass to John. I don't remember.
Oh, you passed the baton?
I don't remember.
Passes the baton?
Not a good answer, Steve.
Make it
I
up.
make it
I
up.
do remember very distinctly. Sorry, am I shaking things?
Yeah, I just don't want to.
Okay. I have a rule. I've had this rule my whole life. Okay. The first time you think it, you make it like a note of it in your head. The second time, you're like, okay, maybe it's real. Because like first of all, when you're younger, like lust and love are very interchangeable things that you might get confused about, especially with hormones. Then it's like, okay, yeah, what? You're laughing at it? Okay.
Facts.
I'm giving life lessons out here, guys. It's free therapy right now, okay? yeah. It's from experience. I have the gray hairs to prove it. So then, like the second or third time, then it's really like, okay, this is a real feeling. But that doesn't mean just because you feel it doesn't mean it's the right time to say it. Like it depends on where your relationship is, who the person is, where they are, and then I kind of like made a rule that like until I knew that they were ready to hear it, or until I physically couldn't couldn't keep it in, like it was gonna slip out on itself, like that was when I was ready to say it. But you were like probably the one person I didn't do that with, just because like I think I knew it very quickly, and it was like, and I was playing the long game, and then I just like it got to a point where like I should have said it like earlier. So then I think I just reserved it for a special moment, and I said it to her on New Year's Eve when we were out, like, and the fireworks had just gone off in like a romantic setting.
Yeah, very cute.
Did you say it back, Olivia?
I did say it back.
Oh, so you remember this? Did you remember that story?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
like not his thought process because I wasn't.
No,
in
for
his
sure.
brain.
Okay, but I have follow-up questions here that we never really talked about. So like because I think it was like a while, like maybe a year in, or like between 6 months and a year in.
Yeah,
So,
6
okay,
months.
6 months. Well, like did you think it early? I mean, obviously, if you said it, you thought it earlier, but like you would never have said it first, right?
I wouldn't have said it first. And I think even if I didn't, I would say it back because that's just so awkward for someone to say that. I think
Michelle did not say it back the first time. I remember that.
but I did mean it when I say it, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
You said I don't want to say it just because you said it. I want it like I was like, okay.
Yeah. Do you remember when you said it?
I remember that I said it.
Yeah.
I think it was on the lakeshore, but I don't
No.
remember. No.
I don't think so. I think that's when you asked me to be your girlfriend.
She doesn't know. She said I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was Saint Jean at a house party that we were at.
House party. We went to
Yeah.
a house party?
I think it was Isa's who had it, or Canada Day. Canada Day.
Okay.
I remember having like the flags.
Okay. I just remember you saying nothing. That's what I remember.
I don't know if I said nothing.
Or just like maybe in shock.
No, not in shock. I wasn't surprised that someone loved me. No, I don't know why I didn't say it back. Maybe I didn't feel it right away, or like maybe, I don't know.
No, you literally said I want to make sure that I don't say it just because you said it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And like, go me.
Sounds like
Very
a
mature.
Sounds like a power play to me.
Yeah.
I don't, but like, I wasn't like, yeah, you could be nice and say it back, but I don't think I was like mean about it.
No. No.
Okay. I was like, what is,
Still, like, first time that ever happened to me, I was like, okay.
yeah. No, it's fine. Honestly, like, you know, don't say it just to hear it back, you know?
There's a little bit of sass in the Mariani twins. Just a little.
Facts. Yeah. So do you, sorry, I'm going to switch my question. Who, if you could pick a celebrity, yeah, we'll go with a celebrity, would be your hall pass?
We're really shifting gears. Like we
Yeah.
went from one combo
Because
to
I had
the
a
next.
question written and I didn't like it.
Yeah. No, Michelle, you're the host of this
Yeah.
podcast. You do what you want to do.
This is my show.
Start thinking.
Do you have
Honestly,
one?
I'm thinking of hall passes, and all I think about is girls. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? When I think of like this like hot celebrity, it's a girl.
I
like
know.
never
I have to
think
think
of
of
a
mine.
hot celebrity man.
Do you have one?
No, like, I honestly, like, I don't want to be. Okay, I feel like that's more interesting.
Okay.
And maybe I'll be like, yeah.
Okay, let me think of one. And you think of somebody who would be my hall pass.
I forget her name.
Who would
be your hall pass?
Yeah.
Me.
No.
Okay.
I have to think of somebody.
Like,
Okay, I have two people in mind for you. Do you have somebody?
I get 2 hall passes?
No,
will
I have
never
2
guess
people.
mine,
Do you
but
have it
go.
in mind?
I can't even think of someone you would like.
No, because like no, that's not a thing I would ever like. It's not a thing I would want. But
I'm thinking of like previous conversations. Like we both said, like Margot Robbie's hot.
yeah, but like no,
you.
but yeah, but no,
No.
that ain't it for me.
I was gonna say that for you, and then I was also gonna say Megan Fox.
I'd say both are a no for me.
Okay.
Like,
You don't
too
have to have one.
too thin.
Maybe you don't want a hall pass.
I feel like
No, there was
Fine.
one that came to mind to me of like, but it's I forget her name. I want to say Brie Larson, but I
That's from Room.
no, but the girl from Community.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I'm drawing
Community.
blanks.
I'm so curious if I got her name right or wrong.
I'm not like big on
Yeah.
famous like like I don't know actresses or actors.
Yeah,
like
it's hard.
I don't care, or like I feel like it's not real people.
Yeah,
like
no,
I don't.
no, Brie Larson's Miss Marvel. That's so not who I was thinking of. One sec.
Oh my god, when I think of Brie Larson, I think of the movie Room.
Is she the mother in Room or the?
I think of Avengers.
Allison Brie. That's why.
Can I
Who's
see
that?
her?
Let me see that.
It's not even the way she looks.
I
It's
have
more the
no
character
idea who she is.
plays. Like it's more the
Oh, I know who that is, but
White Lotus
no.
girl?
Oh, her too. I like, but no.
Who's
no.
the White Lotus girl?
That's not her.
That's not her. No, White Lotus girl is the girl from like Percy Jackson. That's the only movie I remember her from. Besides that,
I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I would be more into like not a famous person. And I don't have
That's
someone.
fucking
but that's
weird
not
to
the
say,
point of
though.
a hall
No.
pass.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
just
It's just
cheating.
okay. So if they're like famous, it's not cheating.
But that's
It's
the
just-
hall
that's the
pass.
hall
It's
pass
like
thing is, like,
it's
just
never
No.
gonna. It's something that's never gonna happen. But if the opportunity arises,
Yeah,
it's
but
not any
that's the same
celebrity,
thing
it's not
because
one
it's never gonna
person. I get
happen
what you're
either way,
gonna say.
right?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say.
What? No. What I'm saying is that we're not gonna sleep with an actress, but we're also not gonna sleep with someone else in general. So how is it different?
No, but I get that, but they're just different.
Like, fundamentally, you're right, but that's not the point. Like, it's a funny question because it's never gonna
Like
happen.
you
but
saw the movie called Hall Pass with like
Yes,
Owen Wilson.
yes.
It's not famous
No,
people.
okay, you're right. You're right in that.
That
It's
they just
not.
said a hall pass. You get one hall pass to just like sleep with anybody. But we're
Yeah,
saying
but that's what a hall
pass.
pass is.
No, but we specified celebrity.
Okay, celebrity.
I saw a funny thing on, I don't remember, it was Kimmel or something, with Anna Kendrick, who, funny enough, would probably also be my hall pass just because I find her hilarious.
Yeah.
And she was like, and someone in the audience was like, you're my husband's hall pass. And then she just got like really funny about it, was like calling them out and like, you know, it was good.
Yeah.
She's fun.
I feel like if like we pull out a list of famous celebrities,
We're
I
not
could
gonna-
I
we're
could
not
be
gonna
like,
throw that in.
okay, so then just pass.
Okay.
Oh wait, now we got to turn it back on you
Oh,
guys.
yeah, flip that switch.
I feel like you know that's the difference.
Who would you think would be mine?
who would you think would be mine?
Oh.
I feel like you're so like non-emotional. Like I feel like sometimes like you don't even like me. You know, you're just so like dead. You know.
Okay, so it's not
Dead
just me,
straight.
it's also-
yeah. She's
Okay,
just
good
like
to
a
know.
little bit cold. So I'm like I can't picture you like I don't know like being into anyone. I don't know. Like I feel like you are, but like I just can't picture and I've never seen you like be into anyone or like you know how some girls are into Jonas Brothers or like when we were young, like I feel like you're just not into stuff. I don't know.
No, I'm into stuff, but I've never been like a crazy fangirl for any celebrity except Britney Spears. But she wouldn't be my hall pass. I'm trying to think of somebody else.
I don't know why, but like, oh, now I'm forgetting his name.
I don't even think there's anybody.
Miles Teller.
Oh my god. From
Well, he's in a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm just thinking-
most recently,
The Tom Cruise one.
Yeah. Now I'm blanking on that too. How do I forget what
Who
that
from
movie's
Top
called?
Gun? Is
Top
that
Gun.
who
Thank
we're
you.
talking about? Which
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
He's
the main
the-
guy
the
besides
young
Tom
guy.
Cruise, the young guy, Miles Teller. He's also in.
but I wouldn't think so either.
Okay, he's hot, but I'm not like.
But like to me, see, it's not just his hot. It's like also he's a great actor. His personality's chill. Like or otherwise, okay,
Okay, I
Chris
have
Hemsworth.
one.
Like if we're gonna do that, like if you wanted the hot route.
Honestly, like people you said, sure, but like it's true. Like I have nobody that I'm just fangirling over that I'm like, if this person
No, but
ever.
I don't fangirl over the people I said.
Yeah.
So like pick
So
someone.
so if we came full circle, you would have no hall pass because like you know a hall pass would be like if that one person, but
No,
if there's
I
no
don't-
one person,
Yeah, they don't need a hall
Agreed.
pass though.
This was not my choice. You forced me to answer this question.
We have to take you on the journey, okay?
You were about to say
No,
someone.
I was gonna say if I could think of somebody, not to this present day, but like a few years ago, because I feel like people have aged like just in general. But Bradley Cooper,
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah.
No. I find like that's like
He's not
old
the
man
same.
vibes.
No, but now he just looks
Older
different.
man. No, I find he looks similar. But like
first Hangover movie.
what I'm saying, like if I'm going for someone, I want something that I can't just get from like a regular person on the street. I don't want a regular dad bod. You know what I mean? Like if I, like I, obviously I'm not
Yeah.
into men, but I'm just saying like you would want someone who's like super in shape or something that like you
I
can't
haven't
just
seen
find
Bradley
anyone.
Cooper in like anything recently, so I don't know. But I'm thinking like back in the day.
He was in a chef movie, Burnt, recently. He was in a lot of. He's always.
Oh, we
first
saw
of all, I
that.
think Bradley Cooper. I think that was a great.
Not good enough.
But
'cause
you know
don't
like
remember
you know
it.
like Brad Pitt
No, honestly.
like when he was young, like in Fight Club, like super thin, like
They're
thin
too
shape.
old for Brad Pitt.
Well, now, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, something like that, but now, like, more present, I would have thought would have been more interesting.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You're going back to Brad Pitt, so I was saying like the old Bradley Cooper. But we can move on.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So next question is just we used to talk. Well, we had an episode, and we talked about icks that we have of guys, and just icks in general. So we want to know what is an ick about a girl.
But like we're asking you one, so think of like your biggest one.
You're like, it's like a turn off, an ick, you know?
And in the same like realm, you could say your biggest like turn on of a girl, like in the opposite of the ick.
Okay, well that's easy. Like when you know it right away. Like for me, biggest turn on is like a girl who's like super independent, like who's just like has her stuff together, like has her shit together, and just like you can't stop her. You know what I mean? She's just gonna do it anyways, and like you're just like adding to her life. You're not becoming her life. So like that's like the number one thing that for me is like attractive.
Okay, that's a good one.
But on the opposite, like I feel like it's the opposite. Is like when someone has an excuse for everything. You know, like I can't go to the gym.
Like,
because,
oh,
like,
sorry,
I don't have
only,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, like no, like that's really
That is literally the opposite. You literally
it's the
chose your
opposite. Yeah.
No, it's true. Like you don't want like that pressure of someone being your entire life and then you're not around. You're like, oh my God, like they're at home sad because I'm out with my friends, or you're going to feel guilty about going out because they're
Yeah, you need independence
100%.
and less complaining. Yeah. I'm a bit of both. I can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play both sides.
Yeah, I do. I play both sides.
And you play them very well.
I would say my ick is probably like similar. My biggest ick is for a girl. First of all, I have a lot of things that pet peeves that I won't call icks, but my biggest ick would definitely be someone that's like has no life besides you. Like you are their life, where like if you're like everything then becomes like you have to dote on them and like incorporate them, where like you are so independent, you have your own friends. Like I don't feel like I don't feel like we live one life. I feel like we both live our lives and choose to spend them together.
Very
Well
cute.
said.
Yeah.
And choose every day to do that.
He's writing his vows like on the pod.
We're not making vows. My biggest turn on, I think funny enough, because they kind of like it kind of goes against the last one. But my biggest turn on would be someone that like is very like I'm not the most aggro person in anything in my life, so the biggest turn on for me would be like someone that would like that is interest like if like that's interest to me, that's like goes after me, like makes the first move. Things like
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't like being chased.
No, he wants to be
I
chased.
like being chased. I don't want to. Once I'm caught, like once I'm caught down, like then like independent.
Okay.
But like that, you don't typically get that together.
So wait. So if I understand correctly, you like it when a girl makes a first move, but then once you guys are together, like you don't need to continue.
No. Okay, it's like it's a very like I would like once like so like Olivia and I like it would be more like when we're like I would be turned on when she like was like oh I want like if she wanted me, you know, like if she was like you know versus like and like but it I think that's clear.
Okay, wait. On that note, okay, we're turning it up. Okay, I'm taking control here.
Okay.
I hope that's okay.
We like creative liberty.
No, just
It's
because on that note,
welcomed
like in the bedroom, like are you someone who prefers to be dominated or to dominate? Because
Oh
I
my
want
God,
like
we're
I
getting
wonder.
sexual
Yeah.
on the pod.
Yeah, 100%. But like, because it kind of goes, it might go with that. You know what I mean?
No, wait, I was trying to be PG with it, but let's dive in there. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So you have to
Let's
answer
go.
the
Like
question.
you, like I ask it, so you, like if you want me after, I'll answer it. But
Yeah. Dominated. But
Okay,
not all the time. Like you want to switch it up. But if I had to pick one.
I second.
No, and like
Oh, was John not part of the answering?
might as well answer it. Might as well answer.
I
it.
want to be. I don't want to be dominated. I want to be dominator. But like, I think my question, like my answer before would be like sounds rinky dink with that when it's not like I don't want to be dominated. I just want to feel like wanted. Thank you. That's the simplest denominator.
Okay.
No, yeah. That's 100%
For-
like I get that.
For me, it's weird. Like if I only had to choose one, I would want to dominate because like I only get to choose one. But like it's very close for me. Like it's like I don't have a preference almost. It's like I love that you could do both.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like
It's actually interesting. I was listening to a podcast recently where it was talking about this and talking about like relationship, like when people are like an alpha male or an alpha female who are very driven. Typically, for like they would want to be the dominating person in a relationship, but that's actually inversely like what would help their relationship succeed, because they're so dominating in their real life.
Yeah.
They should be less for their partner, to allow them to have that balance within the, not allow them, but they would also allow themselves, and to create balance.
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is for me. Is like in my life, I feel like I'm always I'm always like I have like a bunch of people that report to me at work, let's say. So I'm always like giving orders, telling people to do stuff, and like I want that one person who can like put me in the opposite position sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I feel like we've heard that before too. Like if someone's always a decision maker and like answering questions, they just want to feel like
the opposite. Like,
yeah,
take that
like
load
let
off.
it go. Yeah. Did you have any other questions now that you were on the streak over here?
I'll keep them coming, but you know,
Okay.
I don't wanna completely disrupt.
Okay. So another episode that we were talking about, and I'm just like referencing episodes, you can go back and listen to them. But anyways, so we spoke about being in toxic relationships, or just toxic people in general. Like you're dating someone, you're seeing someone, and you know that you're being like toxic with each other. What would help you be in a healthy relationship? Like what makes a relationship healthy versus toxic?
Okay, wait, but that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what do we mean by toxic? Like we mean like
not like seeing the text, not wanting to answer it, or like making people jealous, like on trying to make them jealous on purpose.
Like just
what
being
are other
like
toxic traits?
Yeah, like I guess like seeing a text message, choosing not to answer, like I'm gonna answer later.
But like post on social media, you know that person's gonna see it, like all that nonsense.
And the question is, how do you not do that?
Or like, what's your take? What are things in a relationship to make it healthy, and what are things that you're like, oh, this is.
I was describing a toxic relationship.
I feel like when I was younger, all my relationships were like that.
Yeah.
But it was like due to immaturity. And then like I feel like when you do it a couple times, like you're like, okay, like I've been through this before. I know that like you can break up with someone and you can find someone even better. So it's just like when you get to that point where like if this doesn't work, I don't care, I'll move on and I'll find someone else.
But that's
then, yeah.
I feel like that's what happens. Like it becomes toxic because you feel like you can't leave, so you start being like weird. But it's like, no, just leave and like it'll be fine.
If you're not scared to leave, then you're fine.
Yeah.
It depends at what stage in the relationship it got toxic. So if you're like starting to see someone and you realize they're being like fucking weird, then it's like peace out. But after a year and then they start being toxic, then you're like, you feel like you know them differently.
And that happens because not everyone is like opens up fully right away. True. So like they start showing their true colors after a little while, and then like you're like, oh, I don't like this person, but like now I've spent so much time. But you have to be able to just like
100%.
cut it short if you have to.
I think you have to like split it into a couple of different things, and I think you hit on it right away. Like one, immaturity is a huge part of it. Like for when you're growing up and you're in relationships and you've never experienced love or how to deal with conflict or how to communicate, like chances are the relationship is going to be toxic no matter what, because you're going through a learning curve and you don't exactly know how to react to things, and you learn. Then you go to that next stage where learned experiences can also create toxicity because you've been hurt or you've learned to communicate a certain negative way through immaturity, and that can transfer and create baggage through relationships. I think then you get to a final stage where you've learned all your mistakes, and then it's kind of like meeting the person that's on the same level of you, maturity wise and experience wise. And some people like me, like I have a very large friend group. I have around like 20 best guy friends. I've been friends since like elementary school, and I was always the one in relationships that would like I mean I'm sure I was toxic in many of them at the beginning, but I feel like I was like always very respectful and like to all my partners regardless. But I watched my friends not be, and I watch friends today that are in serious relationships that never really had girlfriends growing up, that are now going through curves that I went through at 15 now at 30. So I think it's like you gotta like put a lens on everything to really understand. But if you're in a toxic relationship, get out.
Yeah,
it's hard, but get out.
People don't know, or they love the toxicity of it. They love the back and forth. They think like the makeup is like what is gonna bond them closer. Do you know what I mean?
Some people are
from a fight, it's like that's what they're craving.
Yeah, for sure. And like if it's gonna be a loop, then you have to just cut it short.
Yeah.
It depends how you want to spend your life. If you like it too, then go for it. But like, it's not what I don't have time for that. You know.
Yeah.
No, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
And I'm switching gears. we're going back and forth everywhere, but
I feel like we're like speed dating. We're like,
yeah,
what's this and what's
it's
this? And, like,
literally
we're
banging out questions right now.
Is this like you guys like making sure we're the right guys? Or like what's going on?
No, because
No, hopefully we've got that already.
We spoke in a podcast and we're like, I wonder what like their opinion is, and sometimes we assume it, and we're like, let's see what they have to say about it. Like on any previous episode, have we said something
But
about a
I
topic?
feel like neither of us have said anything that has shocked you.
No.
Right now?
Yeah, like in
No,
this.
I knew like I know how when we met our first date.
But have we said anything on previous episodes? Because you guys listen to every single one. Anything we said that you disagree with?
Yes. Now, if you ask me to say specifically, I just think it's more on like I like to look at things from multiple different levels, and I feel like sometimes on the podcast, no, it's not the devil's advocate. I think things are very
The
complicated.
sky's blue, but not when it's raining.
Well, no, but I think sometimes you guys make statements that are like plan final, like this is the one way or the highway, and I just don't think the world ever works that way.
Well, we're not stating facts. We're more stating our opinion, and then
Yes.
we're so decisive on our opinion that it just becomes, it sounds like a fact.
Yes,
but
trust me,
it's not.
I know this very well. Very well.
He's just
And
pointing it out.
It's one of the things that I love about you, of how passionate and sure of yourself you are, which is and you're right many times, but I think some things especially when you're talking to like especially in a podcast setting where like some of the things that you're saying are people might relate to their own lives, always have to be put in like a scope of, like you said, opinion versus like don't necessarily try this at home.
But have we said something?
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly what it is.
But at the same time, I think if everything was just like, oh, but also this, like, then it's kind of boring. Like it's like have a character.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. I'm
Yes.
more like you in that sense. But like at the same time,
But like have
maybe
an
not
opinion
on a
and stick with
podcast.
it.
You know, yeah.
No, honestly, I love with somebody with an opinion or somebody that can make a decision. Like when you ask a question and it's always like, sometimes it could be like, I don't know, what do you want? Or like, I don't know, whatever you say is good. Like sometimes that's fine. What do you want to eat? You could decide time-wise, but sometimes you just want to like get that answer down.
First of all, let me say I love the pod. I listen to every episode on the
You
drive
hear
to
it
work.
twice.
What?
You hear it twice.
I hear it twice. I hear it when you're filming it. And although most of the time I'm like in my room with headphones, like playing Xbox or something, but I definitely hear it. And then I listen to it and I love it. I think you guys are great. And I definitely think you're absolutely right that like decisiveness is important. And I don't mean to be flippy floppy and to think that every way has a shape and form. I just think sometimes when I hear some of the things you say, I go, oh, well, I would have thought of this in a different reference point.
100%. If we had like eternity, sure, but we're like,
But also we're so similar too. So a lot of times we do have the same opinion and then we like end that. We're like, this is it, moving on.
Yeah.
Where you could probably have more of a debate if you think of things differently.
It's like Joe Rogan, you know, like be like open mind and like look at everything from two sides. Like there's definitely a market for that. You know,
For
it
sure,
just
if I had
depends.
2 hours every single day.
Yeah,
to,
like his podcast can be 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's constant debate.
Right. Exactly.
We're just not like that.
Speaking of length, like is anyone like timing this? Do we know like when we're okay? Love it.
No, we're going with the flow. How do you guys feel about me and Olivia being so close?
I'm like I like it, but I think it's a for me it's a little too much. For me, it's a little too much. It's weird. It's only for specific things, you know. Like in some ways, you guys are completely different, but there's like certain things like when it comes to food and all that stuff, where you guys are like completely on the same vibe. You're always on the same diet, all that stuff. For me, I'm just like, why don't you just like. How could it be that you want to be on the same diet at the same time every time?
No, it's because sometimes like you want a companion and like, should we do this? And then it's like someone to like keep you on
But
track.
how does someone like me or John do? Like, if we want to do something, we gotta do it on our own, and like we gotta
Yeah, I
do
know,
it.
doesn't that suck?
No, like I feel like it like turns you in. Like, what if one day like Michelle moved?
Well, I was okay, like minus like this trip, but like gluten free. She's not gluten free.
Fair, but just like
Okay, Steve. So
it's not 100% of the time, but it's
Yeah.
more often than I think is okay.
But it's also we spend a lot of time together. So it's like if we're both gonna, let's say, decide to be vegans, it's easier because we're both together and you can just live similar lifestyles. It's
But
like
you don't
me
live
and you.
together.
No, but I see her like I basically live with them. I'm there.
That's
all
like
the
far
time.
from the truth, though. That's far from the truth. That's you like bending the truth because you see her once or twice a week. There's 7 days in a week.
I feel like I can see you're more than that.
Yeah.
It's because you're constantly texting, which is the other thing that I think is like a bit much. You guys know every meal that you guys eat. Like to me, I'm like, I don't know.
What are you doing? What are you? Yeah.
Like my best friend could like graduate, and I don't know until like 3 months later, and I'm like, congrats, and like just as excited, but I don't know until 3 months later.
You're on like one end
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
spectrum.
I agree.
We're definitely
I
on
agree.
the other, and I
Agreed.
think we're like codependent.
I think your relationship is very special. I'm assuming most twins have similar, but I think that's an assumption. I think that's like such a rare thing that you guys have. Like I have siblings that I'm very close to, but we're not the same age. We didn't live in the same room. Like I think you guys have such an amazing relationship. I think it's something that very few people will ever have or understand. I don't try to understand it because like you said, the texting nonstop, like I don't, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. But it does.
Long conversation, constant.
The thing is like when they don't have it, she's bored. She doesn't know.
Bored.
Yeah, you get bored so easy.
Okay, but whether I'm
you don't
texting
have
her or not.
hobbies.
Oh my God, Steve, you're gonna come out of it.
No. It's because your hobby
Shots
is your
fired.
friends. But when your friend isn't reachable, then you don't have hobbies.
I need to. We're starting an argument right now.
Scrap. Facts though.
My hobbies is not actually doing an activity. Like I don't like play the guitar.
It's
I don't like
knowing
play a
what
sport.
people are eating.
No, my hobbies is basically reality TV, hanging out with friends, doing activities. I can't think of anything right now. But with me and Olivia, whether I'm texting her or not, I could be bored at home and I'm still texting her that I'm bored at home. She's not like giving me an activity when I'm texting her. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
No, say it.
I forget.
We could circle back to you when you remember.
I feel like if she was just a sister not the same age, it would obviously be different because now we have the same group of friends. We do the same things. We're in the same age group. We went to school together. So it just like adds, it's like beyond, we're like best friends and siblings, you know?
I remember at the beginning when I started dating you, I was not concerned, but I was like, I don't know how this dynamic's going to work. Are they going to be competitive with each other? Like, how is it going to be with me and Steve? Like, what's it like in home with them? Like, is she going to be calling every 10 seconds? Is she going to be at our condo every 5 minutes? And like, going through the curve, like I learned all of the above and like none of it was true. And you guys just have this very unique relationship that is special that you'll have for the rest of your lives that we will have to always, that will always be part of our lives, and I love that. And I was like, how close am I going to be with Michelle or with Steve? Like, and it was just something really fun to like find out and be a part of.
Yeah, like I feel like you have to be a twin to know.
Yeah, you can't even like.
But my best
It's an
friends.
exclusive club. It's an exclusive club.
I feel like I also have a different view on it because my best friends growing up were twins. So like I saw them grow up together and like they went down a different path, but they started like inseparable, wearing the same clothes and all that stuff. But then they got to a certain point where they want to be like the complete opposite, right?
Yeah.
Which is not great either because you're doing it on purpose, right? To be like different. But like I feel like it's just like be yourself,
No, 100%. Like there's twins out there that aren't close, and I'm always like, oh wow, that really
sucks. That's like weird, like worse, way worse.
It's like it's not just you not being close with a sibling. Like you're really not close with your twin. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah. We try to not be so similar in terms of like clothing. Like we don't want to dress up the same. We want people to know, to tell the difference. So it's like we're not trying to be the same. We're not trying to be different though. We're ourselves.
But the thing is if you do the same things, you will be very similar.
Yeah.
Like
I'm similar with a lot of my friends because we all grew up the same. We grew up in the same environment, liking the same things, doing the same things. So you become similar to your friends.
But you also grew up with like a twin, right? So you're gonna be way 100%. More similar to her.
Yeah.
What I remember like distinctly was when you were moving in, being like, how is this gonna change? Like she's going from living in a room with her sister, and then to me, and I remember like how are you guys gonna split up the clothes that you've shared your whole life? Where you guys had like
draft day.
A draft day where like I pick this. Yeah. Then to like, is she gonna be lonely living with me? Like, but it all worked out.
Yeah, all for the best. And it's so fun now because like we're close, you guys are close, we're all close together. It's a different relationship than if it was just like a sibling.
Yeah, agreed. That was it. That was my comment.
Do you have any other questions for us?
I mean, I can ask you the same thing, but
Does that mean you're out of your questions?
Potentially.
Ooh.
Do you guys find me and Steve are alike at all?
What just happened on this podcast? Like everyone's gonna think he's like mean, and John is so like
Why?
he
didn't say anything mean.
No, just like shitting.
Okay, if someone
I'm
thinks
more
that's mean,
savage in general.
No, yeah,
like
yeah,
John,
not mean, but like
I'm just
more-
being myself.
No, John can be savage
yourself,
too.
be yourself, but more like you're more opinionated. I find you're more like, oh, okay, I could see both sides. Like that's not true. Like maybe like this. Well, that's
John's
the
more
impression.
polished. Like let's
Yeah.
say it the way it is. Like in a
Yeah.
in a nice way. Like that's a compliment. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I
like
think
you,
it's that.
like I am like younger and like I'll probably be more like you when I'm a little older because I will have like made like sometimes you're just like yeah. I get what you're saying, but just let it go. Like like it's like you've been through it more times than me and for longer. So like there's that, but also like I'm also just more. I am probably a little more opinionated too. But I was saying it downstairs. Like you're still like opinionated or like not necessarily opinionated, but you're not like necessarily a follower either. Like I said it downstairs. Like you'll just like go upstairs, and I'm like I love that he can just do that. He's done and he goes. He's not just waiting around suffering and complaining the whole time because we want to stay. You know.
I don't like yes, greed, but I don't think like the what you were saying at the beginning is like necessarily going to be you when you're my like I don't think it's a difference of age. I think I was a people pleaser growing up, growing from like divorced parents and multiple siblings, and like I just wanted to make everyone around me happy. So my communication style ended up being like I see your side, which I do think is a great thing that ended up happening to me because it makes me a very good communicator. But I think that's where that came from, not being polished or like being older, really.
But you're also like just in general when you guys are like having discussions or something, you'll kind of like let her win, like just let her have her way. Where I find you are more like, no, like this is my way.
I'm gonna say, like I don't agree with that actually.
That you let that.
I do. I agree with your statement, but I don't think she would.
So-
No, he does. He'll let it slide.
I think that
Okay.
I disagree.
Maybe I needed an outside look into
Yeah.
it.
We disagree, I think, more often than you two, but you guys, it'll be more intense, but short. Like you guys will like it'll escalate, and I'm like thinking it's gonna turn into something, but then it's done in 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh, like right before the podcast when we were setting up,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, oh, we're about to scrap, but then
Everyone take a drink.
No, like that's like one thing about me. I like get over things really easily. Like I'll be
Yeah.
heated, and then I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can go up really quick and it can come down.
Yeah, and
really
it's
quick.
like you have to just like keep up with the energy. Because then I'm like, why are you in a bad mood? You know?
yeah.
but like I'll disagree more often, but it doesn't get, I don't think, as heated
No,
as
we're
quick.
like you said, we're opinionated and we'll say it, but then we're both like, okay, it's fine, like whatever.
But
Yeah.
between like you guys, I think like you're very different, but like similar in ways that because you guys get along really well. And like I feel like it's not like you meet someone later on in life and you're like, oh yeah, we get along.
Well, I feel like the biggest thing, so like every time I meet like a boyfriend, even like
Like
it's
a friend's boyfriend.
yeah, like it's yeah, exactly. Like it's obviously more important because it's your boyfriend and I'm going to see him more often. So it's nice that we actually do get along. But like even with like your friends, boyfriends, it's like I find sometimes it's like any time where that person feels like competitive, I hate it. I'm just like, if I have to like compete with you, what's happening? Like I don't even know. Like I don't like,
Yeah, like,
we're
where are
not
we?
friends. It's only because of this other person. So I really like I don't care. And then when I feel like someone's competing with me, then it just turns me off completely.
And you guys feel like you're not competing with
No,
each
no,
other.
I feel like John will protect me and I'll protect John. You know what I mean? Like I'm like no, like
go into battle together.
yeah.
Like straight up we've had each other's backs, like with your family at certain points too.
But like if John has like a nice shirt or something, he'll like go get it. This is where you get it. Like he's not being like
not
this is my shirt and like I'm gonna wear the nicer shirt than you. You like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas some people won't tell you where they bought the shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like very
Fuck
childish.
those
But
people.
yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, I
No
don't like.
gatekeeping over
That's
here. No
that's
gatekeeping.
gatekeeping for themselves. Which,
Not for us.
yeah, no, like
I
spread
realized
the-
sitting here, you guys have downed your drinks. I haven't like moved from my seat.
I know I like leaned over the table a couple times.
I feel like
And-
we're relaxed.
I was thinking that because like I've been like shuffling, like moving. I'm like, am I like screwing? Like, is this like a thing in podcasting? Like you sit like a statue?
No,
I'm sitting on leather, and my skin is now one with the leather.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It's tough out here.
But John and I were saying at like before the podcast, we're like, we might just like take over the podcast. Like we like put it in the comments if you think we should take over the
A
podcast.
spin-off?
No, they were so excited when we asked them to be on the podcast. Like, you could not ask for more exciting guests.
And I think you guys will come back and we'll have more interesting questions. But I think it was a good like.
Maybe next
You've
time
been
you'll prepare a list for us. We'll like have some questions for you.
Yeah, you've just been spoken about on previous ones, so it was like nice to put a face to the name.
Sup, fam?
Bless up, fam.
Bless up.
Bless up, fam.
Okay, well, thank you guys for listening to Two of a Kind. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave a nice comment, and we'll see you next week. Bye.